Good rainy morning. Good morning, you brave souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're starting just a little titch early, but we got a big morning, so who knows the word titch? Because every time I say it, my husband's like, what? Can I see a hand for titch? Okay, we're good. We're good with titch. Okay, good. It is not a Scrabble word. I tried, but actually my husband and I have this deal, like if it is a word that you can prove is somewhere, you don't get the points, but you don't lose your turn. So that's good too. Anyway, another topic. Good morning. My name is Reverend Deborah. I am here to talk about more than just Scrabble games, although life is a game, isn't it? Yeah, so that's what we do. On Sunday mornings, we gather here in this Unitarian Universalist congregation to talk about how to get really good at playing this game of life, which includes love and justice and all kinds of other great things. So we have a special morning together here. If this is your first time, I want to just say a very special welcome to you for joining us for the first time. We do hope you are nourished in both mind and heart. We will sing a little, we will listen a little, and we will be together this morning. So I'd like to start with our chalice lighting, which is something we do every Sunday morning as a Unitarian Universalist congregation. And Jeffrey has some beautiful chalice lighting words to kick us off.
Yes, I do. Today's chalice lighting words are from Thich Hat Hanh. Love is organic. Love is a living, breathing thing. There is no need to force it to grow in a particular direction. If we start by being easy and gentle with ourselves, we will find it just there inside of us, solid and healing.
That's beautiful. And may this light be the light of our shared love and our shared faith and commitment to love together. Thank you. And I invite you now to take a moment to turn and greet your neighbors so we can say hello to everybody. If you see someone you may not know, I encourage you to maybe get up and move around the sanctuary, say hi to somebody new. Those of you online, please feel free to unmute and greet, and please feel free to welcome each other with our congregational affirmation, we need not think alike to love alike.
Good morning. I'm Wynn Scow, and I am the chairman of our membership committee, or chair, I guess, would be more proper. Chairperson, okay, one of those things. Today, Millie Fuller, our fellowship ministry associate, Reverend Deborah, and I have the privilege of officially welcoming 11 new members to our Emerson congregation. It is a way to declare that you affirm the inherent worth and dignity of all, that you are committed to a free and responsible search for meaning as you grow spiritually, that you are committed to working for justice and creating a peaceful world, that you acknowledge the interconnectedness of all life, and that you would like to do all that is right here with these people. So these are the things that choosing to become a member of the Unitarian Universalist Emerson congregation. It's an act of love and commitment. We are delighted. Please allow me to introduce our new members who will sign our membership book. So if The new members that feel comfortable coming forward would all come forward as a group. We'll do the.
I don't think so.
I'll give you some come forward music.
Okay. Okay.
Give us some whispering music, please. Whisper music.
Whisper. Okay, thanks. These are the new members that feel comfortable coming forward. But we have a few new members that didn't feel comfortable coming forward. I'm going to introduce them anyway, and they can sign the book after the service. In no particular order, we have Kevin Bennett. Kevin says he's looking forward to exploring his own spirituality, unshackled by the dogma of religion, and fostering deeper ties here at Emerson. There's a lot more that he said, so I hope you'll pick up a new member brochure and read the rest. Darren Lyons, his passion is learning about history, literature, fine art, and the universe. And he's super excited now to be a member of the Emerson UU congregation. And then we have Sacha Grace Cascade. Sacha Grace is grateful to have found Emerson UU and looks forward to growing and sharing in community and good works. And Sacha has a young daughter who I've gotten a chance to meet, Kiriana. Then we have Jasmine Van Pelt, who said a lot of great things, but what I want to share with you is he mostly believes in the value of ritual and community and the mystery of human existence, and he's interested in teachings of Jesus and Buddha. Okay, and then we have Evan Hooper. Yay! She's never belonged to a church before, so this is a new experience for Evan, and she's very excited to join the Emerson family. Yay, and we're excited to have you, Evan. And then we have Jennifer with a long last name. Tell me. Prisbilla. Okay, Jennifer is shy, but but she's back there somewhere. She's inspired. I'm sorry. Oh, Jennifer, I've really done it now. She's inspired by Emerson's sense of community and humor, no doubt, and commitment to social justice causes, and she hopes to be involved in more activities in the future. Thank you, Jennifer, for your for not killing me. And then we have Emily, Emily Vincent. She's thrilled to be our new office administrator, and we are thrilled to have her here. She enjoys yoga, meditation, hiking, cycling, cooking, gardening, sunshine, and meeting new people. She's in the right spot. And then we have Andrew Jean-Pierre, but maybe I said that wrong too. It's good, okay. Andrew lives in Marietta with his wife, Kaylin, and daughter, and his mom, and Bella, who is his royal cat. And I say, what cat isn't royal? Okay. And then we have Lisa Newman. Lisa's been a UU for, she's got a fan club up here. She's been a UU for over 20 years and is happy to sign the book at Emerson. And the reason she has a fan club up here is because she joined the Emerson Choir. And if you would like to have a fan club, you should join the Emerson Choir as well. She joined last fall the Emerson Choir, and which she's found to be an incredible experience, and she's grateful to have found the Emerson community. and we're grateful she's with us, especially in the choir. And then we have Christy Paulus and Adrian Austin. Christy is a cell biologist, an artist. Adrian is an economics professor at UWG, which I just only learned recently is University of West Georgia, and he loves hiking and woodworking. They are very grateful to become members of such a loving congregation. Yay, okay. So we don't have Christy here, but... She's home with a sick dog. Oh, she's home with a sick dog. So we don't have printed out our new member covenant, but we welcome you. Oh, who'd I? No, I did Darren. Darren already signed. Who? Kevin. Kevin, he's really not that shy. I've met him. I told you about Kevin. He's looking forward to exploring his own spirituality, unshackled by the dogma of religion and fostering deeper ties here at Emerson. And we'll get Christy to sign later, and whoever else didn't sign, we'll get them to sign later too. But we welcome you here. And yes, thank you. A standing ovation. Yay.
Thank you all. You may now be seated. Thank you. Welcome to Emerson. We're going to sing together. I'm going to invite everybody to stay standing or get back up. We're going to sing For All That Is Our Life. It's hymn 128. If you like to look at it in your hymnal, it's in the gray hymnal. Otherwise, it's right up there. Let's sing together, welcoming these new members to our congregation. They say singing calls in the spirit, and it is also called in two of our new members. So is Jasmine, are you here? Jasmine, and is Sachi here yet? She's parking. Okay, why don't we wait? When she's here, then we'll have you guys come up and we'll welcome you together again. Awesome. But for right now, let's take a moment to just share our joys, sorrows, and concerns together. Jeffrey's going to be our candle lighter this morning. Candles of Care are available to you every Sunday morning when you come in, as is a book at the back of the room for you to write anything that you would like to share with the community, or perhaps you'd like to just light a candle as a way to acknowledge somebody that you are holding in your heart. We always start our Sundays by lighting the 3 large candles in acknowledgement that this is the land of the Cherokee and Muskogee nations of people who lived here before us. We also acknowledge that on this land there were enslaved people. So these are our own common sorrows that we hold and our commitment to not let these things happen again. And we also light the third candle for our collective joys, trusting that there is joy in all of our hearts to share as well. This morning I have a note from Lynette Carlisle. Lynette is sending healing thoughts for Carolyn Hadaway. She's been in the hospital for a few days, but she's doing okay. So Carolyn, if you're watching this morning, we send you our love and our prayers that you are healing. I'd like to invite you all now to think of somebody in your own heart that you would like to send some loving energy to. And perhaps say their name out loud as Jeffrey lights all of the candles. It's a way to acknowledge that we are thinking of them and holding them in our heart. So please say out loud now the name of someone you are holding in your heart. Say Ronnie and Shaga. And as a way to send our prayers and our good wishes out to the entire world, let's repeat the Buddhist prayer of loving kindness, also called the Metta prayer. Please repeat these words after me. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we be free from harm and suffering. May we all be well in body, heart, and mind. And may we be at peace. I'd like to invite Ann Mason up for our Share the Basket introduction. We have a special guest this morning to tell us about our Share the Basket partner, which is the Tommy Nobis Center. Come on up.
Good morning, Emerson. My name is Ann Mason, and I'm on the Social Justice Leadership Team. Our Share the Basket partner for June is the Tommy Nobis Center. This organization has been providing services to individuals with disabilities for over 46 years, allowing over 30,000 youth and adults with disabilities to gain training and employment opportunities. Our guest today is Monica Olvera, Manager of Development at Tommy Nobis Center. Monica has been with the organization for 5 years and will provide us with an update on all of the exciting things that are going on at Tommy Nobis Center and how our support can help those endeavors.
Thank you, Anne. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me today and for helping Tommy Nobis Center and having us as your partner for this month's Share the Basket. We greatly appreciate this. And I'm not sure that he's here today, but Tyler Driver, who is my friend, invited me here today, and I think he put Tommy Nobis Center in front of the Share the Basket committee. So thank you so much. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I did want to just give you a quick update about our organization. If you're not familiar with us, we have been in the community for over 46 years. And as Ann said, we serve individuals with disabilities, and we empower them through employment by providing them with education, training, and job opportunities to help them be successful in their professional lives and in their personal lives. 1 in 3 adults in Georgia have a disability. 1 in 3. You might never know this because there are so many disabilities that are not visible to the eye. Over 226,000 students in Georgia public schools have some sort of disability. And nearly 15,000 of those live in Cobb County, where Tommy Nobis Center is headquartered. We recognize the limitation of opportunities in the workforce for people with disabilities. As you know, they've been marginalized and excluded for so many years. We believe that today's youth is tomorrow's workforce, so we have prioritized services, educational and employment services for youth and students and young adults with disabilities. So some of the exciting things I wanted to share with you briefly today is next month we have a new program launching called the Academy. It will do accelerated vocational training to put young adults with disabilities into employment, which is very exciting. We also have a group called Connect. That is a group for our students with disabilities and their families to come to a welcoming environment for fellowship and social engagement and no judgment. Everyone is included and everyone is loved. And finally, our organization in the next 18 months will establish a new home. We've been here for many, many years. In 1992, we moved into our building in Bells Ferry, on Bells Ferry Road, and we will be relocating over by Truist Park. So we are moving into a bigger space because we literally and figuratively need more space to do what we need to do and to serve more individuals in the community and more families in the community, to create hope and resiliency and opportunity. There's a quote to close that I want to share with you that says, "Differences will always exist, but division doesn't always have to be the result." This rings true especially in today's climate, where unity is rare, but it's vital. Tommy Nobis Center has always believed that disability rights are civil rights, and every differently abled individual, every race, every color, every gender, every lifestyle preference or orientation has value and can contribute to the overall good of our communities. So again, thank you for supporting our organization and for dedicating some of your dollars to support our mission. We greatly appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. As the baskets go around, please be as generous as you are able, and keep in mind that there is also ways to give in the little cards, and you can go online and give through Realm at any time. My inner Kathy coming out. Hey, before we move on to the story for all ages, I'd like to invite Jasmine and Satya Grace up to sign the book, if you would like. And Cariana, would you like to escort your mother and bring her up here? Or not, it's okay. If you would like. We need some signing music. Sign the book. There we go. Let me just sign your name right there. Keep going, keep going. And this is for you, Jan. This one's for you. And then, Satya, would you like to sign? Right there. Thank you, and welcome. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Thank you. I keep saying this, but I really think next year you guys won't have to do a pledge drive if we just auction one thing off. And that one thing is we're going to auction off Bruce, who will walk behind you in your life and give you like a little music for everything you do. Done. Okay. Stewardship campaign taken care of for next year. But for this year,
I have to carry this.
well, you know, accordion, I don't know. It's time for our story, so if you are young or young at heart or Jeffrey, come on up. Oh, this is a good one. I need somebody. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. That's it. By force is okay. We don't mind. Bring them up. All right. Welcome. Well, this is a story. Have you ever been in school? Oh, good. And you know sometimes how teachers, like if the teacher said to you that she was going to give you a lesson, but that someone was going to win the lesson and get a prize, what would be the best prize your teacher could offer you? Bruce with the piano. Anything else? How about a trip somewhere? Or how about to get to be like the one that does the, do they have erasers anymore in school? I don't even know. Well, let's just imagine your teacher came to you and said, we have a contest today. Now, this contest is going to take 2 months, but at the end, whoever wins gets to pick their prize, anything you want. All right? And so the teacher said, okay, and she handed out to all the students a little cup of dirt. So you can hold a dirt. Pretend I've just handed you a cup of dirt. And she handed out to each of the students a seed. And she said, I'm going to put this seed in the dirt, place it in the dirt, cover it up. Now take this home, water it, give it some sun, nurture it, and in 2 months, bring it back, and we will see who wins the contest. So all the kids were excited, and were like, okay. So they went home, and they watered their plants, and they put them out in the sun, and they did all the things. And what do you expect happened? Yeah, the plants were going to grow, right? We shall see. Well, 2 months went by, and the teacher said, okay, tomorrow's the day. Everybody bring your plants back in. So they did. So let's get some plant bringing back in music going here. I'm only here for 2 more weeks, so I'm pushing my envelope here. There we go. So little Tommy brings in a plant. Ooh, it's a beautiful plant. And the teacher's going, nice plant. And all the other kids go, okay. And then little Becky brings in her plant. Ooh. Yes, they had to plant them in different pots because they got so big. Well, we'll shall see. And then little Brucey brought in his plant. And it was so big and so huge. The other kids thought, wow, Bruce is going to win this contest for sure. And then little Jeffrey brought in his pot. Jeffrey was at the back of the room. And he came in. And he showed the teacher his pot. And a little tear started to drip down his eye. And Jeffrey doesn't have a microphone, but Jeffrey said, it's on.
My plant didn't grow at all. I'm so sorry. I must have done something wrong. I don't know. I tried so hard. I took care of it. I watered it, but nothing came up. This is all I got. I don't know why everybody else's looks so beautiful. I must have done something wrong.
And Jeffrey felt like a little failure. That tear, let's see a tear. The tear came down the aisle. But at that moment, the teacher stood up and said, girls and boys, children, I'm going to announce the winner. And the winner of the contest is Jeffrey!
Me?
Yes, Jeffrey. Because in fact, those seeds I gave you, before I gave you those seeds, I boiled them. And do you know what happens when seeds get boiled? They cannot grow. Aha!
Cheaters!
Jeffrey was the only one that was truthful enough and was willing to come in and tell the truth about the plant not actually growing. And Jeffrey wins. Bruce, be ashamed of yourself, but that is our story for today. Let's sing our song. Love is the doctrine. Like hold hands? You can like hold hands. You don't have to. Jeffrey. Thank you for being so honest. You only have 1 week to get me back, Bruce, so that's going to be my friends, let's take some time as our children leave and enter into a time of stillness, time of meditation, time of silence. It's nice to take this time each week to just breathe and be together. So if you are comfortable closing your eyes, I invite you to sit in whatever way feels comfortable. Close your eyes. Take a nice conscious breath for yourself. And make this a breath just for you. Just for you. A deep breath. And exhale. Taking the next few breaths, and let your awareness come into your own body, into your own heart. There are so many layers to the self. There's the mind that thinks, there's the heart that feels. There's that layer of self that seems to know beyond thoughts or feelings. There's the body. All of these are part of you, and give yourself this moment in this time, this morning. Give yourself this moment to feel and breathe. You are a person. You have experienced so much in your life already. I invite you to expand your awareness out beyond yourself now. And perhaps pick someone to bring into your awareness whom either you do not know, or perhaps someone who maybe you have a conflict with, or someone you might have a judgment of. Go ahead and bring that person into your mind's eye. And I'm going to invite you to, in your mind, say these words to that person. Looking at that person or persons. Say these words. Just like me, that person is seeking happiness. Look at that person again and say, just like me, this person in front of me, they are trying to avoid suffering the best they can. Just like me, this person has known sadness, loneliness, despair. Just like me, this person has had times of joy. Just like me, this is a human being learning about life. Bid that person farewell in your mind's eye, sending them off with your well wishes as you are able. And then once again, bring your focus back to yourself. You too seek happiness. You too try to avoid suffering. You too have known sadness and joy. And together, we make a community of humans. As you feel ready, I'm going to invite you to open your eyes, look around the room at the other humans in the room. It's a beautiful thing to be together as human beings. Just like us. Just like us, most people are wanting to find meaning and truth in their lives. Enter religion, right? A creation of humans to help us make meaning. Now, I remember well the fateful day many years ago when I chose to open the door and invite two young gentlemen inside my home. They had come knocking, asking if they could talk to my husband and I. For a few moments, they told us they had some good news they wanted to share. So I invited them in, and as you probably guessed, we took a dive into religion. Our 1 hour turned into 2 as my husband and I shared our theological theories, and we took time to hear theirs. Finally, I suggested it was time for them to part, acknowledging that we obviously did not agree, but I said I was grateful that they were open to exploring some different concepts about faith and life with us. It is at that moment that one of the young men looked me in the eye and said, "Oh, I wasn't exploring. I was being polite and letting you talk. I know that I already have the one and only truth." It was at that moment that I happened to look out the door to see the car that these two young men had driven up in. Sitting like statues in the back were two women. "Have they been in the car waiting this whole time?" I asked naively. "Oh, yes, that's their mission," one of them replied matter-of-factly. Now, I am pretty sure I did not black out and actually commit the violent crime that was in my mind. But oh, it was so close. I wasn't a minister then. To me, at the time, that incident was simply one more data point to prove my theory that organized religion was nothing short of a system to control and something I wanted no part of. And it would be many, many years later, after finally discovering Unitarian Universalism, that I would begin to open to the possibility that an organized faith could, in fact, be something worthwhile. Does anyone relate to my story? Amen is okay. Now, I'm going to assume that many of you are in this room joining us or joining us today online because there is something about Unitarian Universalism that intrigues you. And perhaps that intrigue was strong enough that it inspired you to set aside your hesitations and maybe even your harms that you've encountered in the past and dip your toe back into the world of religious community and thought. If this is you, you are not alone. Welcome to Unitarian Universalism. So what makes this faith worth considering for those of us suspicious about the concept of organized religion and religious creedalism? Well, of course, the answer is probably different for each of us, but today I want to especially talk about one thing that I think is perhaps the most vital. Now, we need to go back to the birth of Unitarian Universalism for this, which was not a quick labor, by the way, to birth Unitarian Universalism. So it was beginning way back in the early 1800s, actually, that the Christian Universalists and the Christian Unitarians saw in one another great similarities. And even as they acknowledged their differences, they started to talk about potentially merging. Now, the Universalist churches tended to be small, countryside congregations led by those that felt the call to ministry. They preached mightily about universal faith, about universal salvation, about an all-loving God, and doing good in the world. Now, meanwhile, the Unitarian side of our heritage, those churches tended to center around Boston and tended to be larger, well-funded places led by highly educated clergy. They focused on the humanity of Jesus and on the practical matters of the here and now. Now, both denominations found themselves on a path to religious liberalism and were beginning to acknowledge that there were many paths to truth and meaning, even outside the traditional Christian faiths from which they both sprung. Both were moving away from utilizing a creedal test as part of their faith and exclusively using sources from the Christian Bible. And as they got closer to merger, they had to wrestle with some questions of identity. If a confirmation of belief was not going to be required for this new faith that they were considering forming, what would hold them together as a religious community? Was a non-creedal faith, so one that did not require a specific belief, was a non-creedal faith even a religion at all? Or would it just be a social group? So these were the conversations necessary for this merger to take place. Now keep in mind, in the room for these conversations were folks that ranged in beliefs. Some folks truly identified as Christian at the time, but not everybody. Many people believed in God, but some did not. Some people felt and spoke about the work of spirit, and others just did not like that kind of language. So here they sat in a room together. But one thing they all said that they agreed on was that no matter what one personally believed, theologically speaking, it was how one lived that was important. And so in the end, after what had been literally decades of dating and 10 years of conscious work towards a merger, in 1961, the newly formed Unitarian Universalist Association, which is the organizing body of UU churches, settled on a list of 6 principles and purposes that they felt would represent who they were and why they existed. Now notice I said 6, not 7. So you may be surprised to know that this first iteration of the principles was not the same as the principles we have today. Did everybody know that? Yes. The original, though similar to what we have today, also had some lines in them about, well, the ideals of brotherhood and encouraging cooperation with men of goodwill, among other wording that, let's just say, many of us would find troublesome today. But therein lies the key thing about Unitarian Universalism I want to talk about. Because laid out in Article 2 of the bylaws of the Unitarian Universalist Association was not only these initial defining principles and purposes, but one key statement. It is section C-15.1C4, for those keeping track. And in that one sentence, it does this. It mandates a review of Article 2, the section in the bylaws where the principles and practices of this faith are written. And it mandates that that review take place every 15 years. And then it lays out how approvals and changes would happen. Now, I know that other faiths have also had some changes occasionally, but to me, that idea that it's baked right into the very founding of this faith, that it's a mandate to ask the question, who are we now? And now, and now, right? What has life taught us over the last 15 years that is going to inform who we want to be? I think those are brilliant questions for all faiths. Wouldn't it be amazing if all faiths asked those questions? And for each of us personally as well, right? How many of us take that moment to look in the mirror and say, who am I now? What has life taught me over the last 5 or 10 or 15 years? And how is how I'm going to behave going to be different because of that? Indeed, changes have happened to the Unitarian Universalist principles because of those very questions. It took changes in both 1985 and some amendments in 95 to remove that male-dominated wording and get to where we are today with our 7 principles. Also added was a statement back in 1985 with a list of 5 sources, which was then expanded to 6. This list was created to clarify that Unitarian Universalism acknowledges wisdom and truth from many sources, not just one. Now, you math scholars out there might be noticing that 1995, when the last changes were made, is more than 15 years ago, right? Anybody notice? And you're correct, because not all proposed changes make it through the voting process, right? And it's actually been about 30 years since we have seen changes. But that hasn't stopped Unitarian Universalists from reflecting and asking, who are we now and who do we want to become? While the 7 principles have done a great job in addressing those questions, many people have felt them lacking. Paula Cole-Jones, a UU district leader and regional leader who worked with congregations for years on issues of oppression, realized that a person can believe they are being a, quote, good UU, follow the 7 principles, without thinking about or dealing with racism and other oppressions on the systemic level. So she concluded that an 8th principle was needed to correct this. And she and a person named Bruce Pollock Johnson put together the initial draft of the 8th principle in 2013. How many people have heard of the 8th principle? Pretty many? In May of 2017, the first Unitarian Universalist congregations adopted this principle and recommended it to the UUA to adopt. And to date, over 54 congregations have adopted it, so they recognize 8 principles. The 8th principle reads as such: we, the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association, covenant to affirm and promote, journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and in institutions. So it very clearly lays out what we do in response to that principle. At the General Assembly in 2017, there was discussion about amending the principles to add the 8th principle, and also to amend the 1st principle to include non-human life. Because our 1st principle speaks about the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And a lot of people want to amend that to say every being. Now, none of these changes were actually made back in 2017, but soon after, the UUA board began to form its new commission. And it took a little time, but in the end of 2020, a new commission was formed to do this review of our principles again. And that process has now culminated with the proposed new Article 2 that you have in front of you. Was everyone able to get a copy? I'll ask Emily to make more. Someone had put that together. We're not going to go over it piece by piece, but I handed it out to you so you could see what the Article 2 looks like, the current one and the proposed one. Now, there's also, if we could have that picture, you'll see the front of that, and if you don't have one, this is the visual that is now proposed as a representation of the principles or of the values. So notice that love is at the center, and the values are defined with single words. In the Article 2, they are expanded on. Now, of course, looking at this image, it's impossible not to notice the lack of numbers, right? Where is our 1st principle, and 2nd, and 3rd, and 4th, and 5th, right? Gone are the 7 principles or 8 principles. So, now I'm going to admit that I had to take a breath when I first saw this image. Anybody else? Is anybody else in panic because there aren't 7 principles? Nobody? A few? Well, I kind of like the orderliness of the list, so I liked the principles. And if we don't all fully remember them, we can easily say, well, we're a faith that has 7 principles, the first being the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Most people remember that one. And the last one, which is the interconnectedness of life. But whatever reactions you may have about this new proposal, I do want to invite you to keep in mind the core tenet of this faith, which also is actually represented in one of the values. In the new Article 2, this value, evolution, is stated like this. It says, we value evolution. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Evolution is fundamental to life and to our Unitarian Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. In theological terms, we always say revelation is ongoing. Life will constantly reveal new understanding and new awareness, and we must adapt and change to it. You can take that off if you want, Josh. But let's face it, change can be hard. Determining what is right can be way more nuanced than just a list of words. decisions about what to do can be controversial. I may like one thing and you may like another. What should we do? And it's no wonder that at some point, many religious faiths made the choice to just pick a story, pick some values, and stick with them, right? To define truth, this is what truth is, to define where the source of that truth came from, and to leave it at that, and to not keep looking around for new information or what may have changed. And maybe for some, like the young men that visited my door those many years ago, that style of religion works well. But that is not this religion. And for me, the only religion that is acceptable is one that accounts for the fact that life is ever changing and ever evolving. Has anybody ever lived and had nothing change? No? No hands. Because revelation is ongoing, right? Change happens. And we can either joyfully respond to change, dance with change with change, right? Or we can live our life with our hands gripped around the wheel of life, keep trying to steer it back to the where it used to be because that was comfortable and known. And truthfully, I think we've all done that once in a while, right? You grab that steering wheel and you're like, no, I don't want this to change. I liked it the way it was. But in religion, no one book, no one wise person can be the source of our wisdom. And I think no one moment in time can give us all the information we will ever need. How many people have had an aha even just this week? Right? You know those moments where you're like, oh, and a paradigm shifts, right? You saw things one way and then all of a sudden you saw them a different way, right? That, in a nutshell for me, is Unitarian Universalism. And the Unitarian Universalists circa 1960 wisely invited us to not be afraid of change, and even more wisely mandated self-reflection as part of the guiding principles of this faith. So I invite you to consider the proposed changes. We're going to have a conversation today. There's going to be a survey and more information coming out to you in email, so you'll have a chance to weigh in what you think. They do need to be voted on at General Assembly, so I'll give you more information about that as well. But more important, my message to you today is about considering change and noticing where are the places in life that you resist, where you want to grip that wheel, where you want it just to be known in a book or a person or any one way, and where are the places in life where you dive in and you let the current take you and you learn to swim and you enjoy the process. This is an evolving faith, and my hope is that each and every one of you, and especially you newest members, that you really take that on as a thing. Like, we are not asking Unitarian Universalists to join Unitarian Universalism and just buy into what's here, right? We're asking you to come in and bring your voice to be part of what's growing and changing. Bring your life experience. Speak about it. Share about it. How does it inform you? And how does it change you? Because together, when we do that, I think this new faith, and I say new because it was born in 1961, which is just a teeny bit older than me, I think this new faith actually can be a faith that very many, many people are looking for. Right? It's the community, it's the love, it's the aliveness, it's the learning how to be human together. So may we all do that with love at the center. Our anthem today, I am going to share a video. Poor Josh. I sent him one video, then I sent him another, then I sent back the other one. So I'm not sure which one he's going to play. I think it's going to be Jermaine Dupree. We got that one keyed up? It's a beautiful video called Change, so here we go.
These are tough
Crank it
times
up.
we live in, but still we can't just give in. We must stand tall and live strong. It's up to the youth to live on.
It's subtle.
And carry this torch we pass down. You see, I know it's not the last round.
If you're a
in the
real
next
you can
generation,
hear.
my faith is unwavering.
My confidence in you is unshakable because I know that you're willing and far beyond.
These are tough times we live in, but still we can't just give in. We must stand tall and live strong. It's up to the youth to live on.
And carry this torch we pass down. You see, I know it's not the last round. In the next generation, my faith is unwavering.
My confidence in you is unshakable, because I know that you're willing and far beyond capable of doing all that must be done. But to do it all, we must be as one.
Life can be better than most of us dream. So once you take the reins, believe in your greatness which lies within.
And for the better, this world will change.
I see that you want it. I see that you're working for it. So don't take no days off. It's gonna pay off. I see that you love it. I want you to know that before you can see it, you gotta believe it.
You're the generation of tomorrow.
The pursuit starts today, and all time is borrowed. So you have none to waste.
You and I, oh I repeat,
you and I,
put on the search and lose. And you are hot, yeah I repeat it, that you are hot. So do what you do,
and we gon' do it big. We gon' make a scene. We gon' take the doubters, make them all believe. We gon' be the change that we wanna see. We're not taking average, chasing legend status. We can have the world, we can have it all. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small. We can be the change that we wanna see. We're not taking average, chasing legend status. Oh no no, I see that it's in your heart. I see that it's in your heart. I feel it, I feel your desire.
it only takes one spark. It only takes one spark to set it on fire.
You're the generation of tomorrow, but the work starts today.
And all time is borrowed, so there's no time to wait.
You and I, yeah I repeat, you and I, put on this earth to lose. And you are hot, yeah I repeat it, you are hot, so do what you do. Yeah. And we gon' do it big, we gon' make a scene. We gon' take the dollars, make them all believe. We gon' be the change that we wanna see. We're not taking average, chasing legend status. We can have the world, we can have it all. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small. We can be the change that we wanna see. We're not taking average, chasing legend status.
Let's go.
You can have anything you want, but know the work must still be done. Hey, the power to change the world is in your hands. Just believe that you can. What is a dream without action? Nothing but a reason to stay asleep. You gotta wake up, make a decision. Life is for the living, and it's yours, but you gotta go get it. Oh, we gon' do it big. We gon' make a scene. We gon' take the dollars, make them all believe. We gon' be the change that we wanna see. We're not taking average, chasing legend status. We can have the world, we can have it all. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small. We can be the change that we wanna see. We're not taking average, chasing legend status.
We gon' do it big, yeah. Oh, nothing. Do it. All we gotta do is do it. Nothing can stop us now. No.
I hope you like that. Yeah. Because no matter how old you are part of the next generation of change. And the more that we own that as Unitarian Universalists and work towards that, the better this world will be. May you commit to our collective evolution. We got this. Yeah? All right, amen. Jeffrey, where you at? Will you close us out, hon? Did I just call you hon? think I did. That was a little strange.
Been in the South a little.
I think I got sweetie pie or something, I don't know.
I'll answer to all of those. Yes.
Thank you.
We hope you have been nourished in heart and mind by our worship today. If you would like more information about Unitarian Universalism or about Emerson, please stop by our welcome table in the front entry. Please plan to join us next week as we bid fond farewell to Reverend Deborah. She will be preaching her final sermon as Emerson's minister, titled Parting is Such Sweet Sorrow. And, this is very important, if you have not already, please register right away for the barbecue picnic that Reverend Deborah and her husband Jim are offering us as a parting gift. Sign up through Realm or via the sign-up sheet in the fellowship room, which the fellowship room, if you don't know, is right behind us, down the hall. Bring lawn chairs, yard games, and a favorite dessert to share if you would like. All are welcome. As our chalice is extinguished this morning, please join in the final words. They are posted in the chat and in the order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Bruce, for playing along. It's always a joy. Thank you to our AV team, who does not get nearly enough credit for what they do. Thank you. Please go now in peace and take peace wherever you go. And I hear there's cupcakes back there. Thank you, Millie. Take care, everyone.